we are recording now. So this is the team that brought us another child. If you're watching this, this is following the film as a Q&A at the Sherman Oaks Film Festival. Just picture we all watched the film together, and now the lights have come up in the theater and the team has come up on stage and sat in chairs, and we're going to discuss this amazing documentary that obviously it's really amazing in every way. But one thing I always try to say about a film like this when we started Q&A is the subject is so emotional and powerful that a lot of times the theater, the Q&A becomes all about the subjects. And I just want to add, as filmmakers, it's an amazingly well-made film. The filmmaking skills are why it's so effective, because I can just tell you, if you watched a couple hundred films every couple months for film festivals, you'd realize how many bad documentaries there are about important subjects.
I can't imagine.
So really bravo to all five of you and everyone who helped you get this film made. It really is an incredibly well-made documentary about something obviously incredibly personal and important just to society in general. So thank you so much. And now I'll let Leanna introduce your team.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jeff. So my name is Leanna Borsellino. I am the director and one of our EPs, executive producers. My other co-director is James Hedrick, and he is here as well. And then I have Lindsay Ray Torres, who is my other executive producer. And then we have Sue Hoskins, my editor. And then Bob Niemak, who is a writer and also one of our producers.
And wow, I don't even know where to start. It's an incredible film. Your story's incredible. And the way, bravo to Susan, the editor, because the way that the story evolves for the viewer, for the audience, is incredible. That, I mean, we start off with Leanna, and the figure of your mother's obviously means one thing to us, and then by the end of the film, whatever, I've cried both times. So anyhow, everyone,
yeah.
Maybe
real quick, I want to give some kudos to Sue, since you mentioned Sue, our editor. She just won an award at a recent festival for us in Vegas as best editing. So, which is an incredible feat because we have over 400 hours of footage. So if you can imagine that there was quite a task at hand for her. So I definitely want to say kudos to her. So anyway, Sue, you are incredible and worth your weight in gold. You're an amazing editor. So thank you.
Sue, do you want to speak to that, or your experience on this?
I want to throw it right over to Bob, because the editing job is a big job, but it's totally reliant on the writer who came up with the storyline and every twist and turn in the story. And so I was incredibly excited to have an opportunity to work with Bob Niemak. So there's a lot of writing that goes on that you don't recognize when you watch a documentary. And but it's the writer that really takes the creative thread, and then the editor works with the writer to put that together. And then as a team, we would go to the producers and bring it to that next level and back and forth.
And when did James get involved? From the very beginning, I assume, or?
So I guess, James, I'll let you talk a little bit and I won't take over everything.
Yeah, so I came in, I'd say probably about halfway through the project. Leanna was pregnant, and just kind of they'd shot so much already, and just come in to kind of help round it out and get the last bit of footage to really just capture the story well and yes, kind of get us to completion. And we just got to do a lot of the Florida shoot. We went down to down there, did the narrative filming and a little bit of filming out in LA. But yeah, this crew and this team was just phenomenal, and just really bringing the story together and just pulling out, just the different threads and the different connections. And yeah, Bob and Sue did an amazing job, just really taking, like Lana said, that 400 hours of footage and just really making an incredible film out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, one obvious question. I think we can tell as viewers, funnily enough, by your mom's hairstyle, that this was really shot over a very, very long period of time. How long were you working on this?
So we started shooting in 2012, and it kind of halted for a little bit in about 2014. And I kind of, at the time, it was just Lindsay and I. And we had kind of hit a standstill because we weren't really sure we just had so much and we were a little overwhelmed with all of the footage and everything we had done. I mean, we could have gone in any direction. And so I actually ended up getting an invitation from the International Documentary Association to come to their award ceremony at Paramount Studios. And so I decided that this might be the sign that we needed. And so they offered to honor us for Human Rights Awareness Day on December 10th, which was the day of the awards ceremony. So it was kind of awesome. So Lindsay and I went there with our husbands, and on my way to Paramount Studios, I got a phone call from Bob, since he was on the board at the IDA. And he was like, Leanna, I see your name is on this list. And a little bit of background information is Bob was the one that accepted my film initially into the International Documentary Association. And so I knew him at that time as a board member at the IDA who gave us the green light and told us that this was a film worth making. And so I was shocked to get a phone call from him, and he told me to come find him after the awards ceremony. So I did. And I told him the rough patch that we had hit, and he proposed the idea of joining our team. And it kind of just evolved from there. And James joined the team shortly thereafter too. And I really needed him, especially I couldn't go to Los Angeles for the narrative footage because I was too far into my pregnancy to fly. So it was very, very helpful to have James and also Lindsay kind of take over for me, since I was stuck FaceTiming during that time. So.
And I think Lindsay hasn't gotten to speak yet. Do you want to? I see you're muted too, so I was not going to throw it to you if you're unmuted. But do you want?
That's okay.
You want to share your contribution?
Sure. I came on board actually after some of the LaPorte footage. If you know where that is, it's the hotel scene and a few other scenes that they shot in LaPorte, Indiana. And at first, I was just the friend. Leanna and I went to college together. We went to film school together, and we, worked together in the past. And even when she was shooting in LaPorte, she was calling me like, I don't know, there's so much to do. And I was just kind of the friend who was an ear, to listen to, and encouraging her and saying, this film is important, and I'm just keep on keeping on. And then after they shot the first round of footage, she was like, I really need another producer, because she was wearing too many hats. I mean, and working on such a in a vulnerable state. We're also working on such I don't even want to say heavy, but such sensitive material. I'm sure a lot of other documentary filmmakers can attest to a lot of stress, and then you're trying to direct and you're trying to produce your own work, and be vulnerable, and all of those scenes, you know, we also tried to keep it to where Leanna was receiving information for the first time. You know, it wasn't reality TV shot where we would prep Leanna and say, okay, Leanna, this is the song that your mom wrote at the truck stop. Here it is. Okay, now, you know, now we're going to shoot it. We tried to keep everything as fresh as possible. A lot of her mom's stories to Leanna, and pretty much what you see is fresh material. It's not
First takes.
yeah, it's I mean, I think it's obvious, but for those who maybe work in reality, it's less obvious, you know, that everything was hitting Leanna, and all the information she was hearing about her mother, you know, and all the information that she was sharing with her mom as well, you know, that was all new. So she was doing all of this, and she called me and just said, I need somebody to help me produce. And I was like, okay, I'm in, you know, I believe in this project. And for me, it was personally also a way to fight abuse and fight a lot of the things that we see happening, especially against women, but also fight that idea of silence and how silence just perpetuates abuse. So I was all in, and we went fundraising and raised the funds we needed, and, you know, went out to shoot again. And I mean, I guess I've been one of the people who've been around the longest on this film, but it's really had such an interesting character arc. You know, starting out, what year did we start? I mean, you started in 2012, and people didn't know what sex trafficking was. People didn't know what human trafficking was. You know, nobody was talking about abuse. I mean, people were, but this many people were. So it's really, it really evolved too, from being a film about sex trafficking and abuse to this beautiful story between a mother and daughter. And that's, you know, in part thanks to Leanna for just being vulnerable, and Cindy, the mother, for just being vulnerable and ready to share their stories, and also Bob and coming along kind of at the end and tweaking some of our rewrites and everything. So mad props to our whole team. Yeah.
I mean, it's just a beautiful film, and I'm not surprised to hear that it wouldn't have worked if Leanna had known, okay, the conversation I had with my mom last year, we're going to have now on camera.
Yeah.
That just you can tell that's not what happened.
Yes, it was all very, very, some of it was very shocking for me. Like the song about the baby that she lost, like I very specifically was like, I can't hear even the melody of this. Like, I don't want to know. Like, I saw the song, but I didn't want to hear it, nothing. And so that was all very fresh. And she was nervous because she was like, well, I haven't even practiced this yet. What if it doesn't come out right? And so she was scared. And it was just, there was definitely a lot of layers, but we tried as much as we possibly could to be as authentic as possible in the moment. And because of that, absolutely, Lindsay, back in college, I mean, she's one of my best friends, but we were in Shakespeare's Comedy of Errors, and we played the two Dromios. And so we had a lot of practice, like mirroring each other and being each other's twins. And so I felt that if anybody could step on and do the work behind the scenes for me while I needed to be in front of the camera, like she was the perfect person for that. Like I could fully trust her, and I knew that she was going to handle the job. And she knew how I thought, so she knew what I needed and wanted, and she's very excellent at that as well. So anticipating those needs. So.
To Lindsay's point about how many of the moments were very real and very in the moment, we chose to open the film with the low budget clap, hand clap, and the sound recorder says, "Take one." And that's what it is throughout the film. Take one.
Well, and Bob, you were mentioned a couple of times, you didn't get to chime in, but I would assume being on the board of the IDA, you can't not there. I would assume it's 0.001% of budding documentaries that you want to be involved with.
Well, I'll tell you, that's the number I have been involved with. It's just one of those miracle stories of amazing timing. At the time that Leanna came to the IDA Awards, she was looking for an editor for the show. And I have been an editor in the past. I'm more of a writer, director, producer now, but at the time it really intrigued me, and I said, okay, I'm really curious. It wound up that I teamed up with Sue Hoskins, which was another match made in heaven. So that was a great way to combine it, and for me to be able to see to completion of film that I said, she said the word green light, but my role was to approve it for fiscal sponsorship through the International Documentary Association. So that allowed Leanna to raise money as donations rather than as taxable revenue. So it's a great way to make a low budget documentary. So I was pleased even at that. Then when I came around and met Lindsay and then watched the footage and got very excited about how it had developed over the 8 years that I hadn't been involved in it, I couldn't resist getting involved again.
Yeah. Yeah, Bob's been absolutely incredible. So, and has also offered priceless mentorship, I think, as well. So he really helped encourage kind of transitioning it a little bit more to being through my eyes. I wasn't initially wanting to do that. So he was the one that was like, do you have any old home videos? And fortunately, my dad did record a lot of my life growing up. So, and Bob felt that that was, I guess, a little bit of a gold mine for us. And so I was nervous.
It's a great gold mine. I felt 400 hours, not enough footage. Give us more.
Yes. Yeah. So I wasn't sure at first if I wanted it to go that direction. And then I felt that I needed to trust Bob, and we all talked and we felt that this was the direction to go. So it's kind of, we were initially called Honey Child, and then as the film evolved, we felt that the new name, Another Child, fit the story more appropriately. So
I agree. I kind of knew, because you use Honey Child as your, I shouldn't say that's your password. Uh-oh. Now people know. Not for her iPhone. That's for the screener that gets sent to film festivals.
yes.
I wanted to ask, of the 400 hours, was the big scene with your mom's family the last thing that you shot? Or was there more after that?
No, that was actually within the first year that we shot that. So yeah, there's a lot more that came after that. So
right. So that's the amazing editing job, is that we finish, because I have to say, and during the credits, what you do with the photo of your daughter and then you and then your mom and then grandmother, it's unbelievably powerful.
Jeff, if everyone had haircuts like yours, we would have gotten away with 8 years of production. No one would have known the difference.
Yeah.
Well, believe it or not, I think the haircut changes add to authenticity, right? Because it really does show that this isn't a prepared idea that was outlined and then shot to an outline. It's a real documentary.
Yep.
By
Yep.
real, you mean almost took 10 years to make? Yes. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
And
I'll tell you, for filmmakers who are struggling in the middle of production or are struggling with what's my vision, I would just say from almost 50 years of making documentaries, there are many times that you despair in the middle and you wonder if you're going in the right direction, and you're wondering if what you've shot has value. And I just can almost guarantee it does. If you put your heart into it, it has value. And you just got to keep mining it until you find how it speaks to other people.
wonderful. We still have some time. I imagine there's a long list of people who aren't on screen who were helpful. Is there anyone who deserves mention?
Oh, absolutely. I would say that I mean, gosh.
Definitely Dave.
Yeah,
Who
Dave
can forget?
Mattis for sure. Dave has been with me since the very beginning. So I got to give props to him. He actually started as my first editor, and then he took a short hiatus and came back as a co-producer. And so he's been there since the beginning and watched the whole, like the whole film evolve. And he's super supportive. He's just a really wonderful co-producer, and I'm honored to have had him stick with the film for as long as he has. So definitely want to mention him. I also feel that my family has been incredibly supportive. Financially, they have helped push this film constantly. So especially my parents. So my mother and my father have been champions this whole time. So I obviously have to mention my mom, Cindy Borsellino, and my father, Dan Borsellino. Also my grandmother. She is, I felt that it would be really hard for her to see this whole film come out, and she's been nothing but supportive. Like, she follows everything that we're doing, and she's just been really incredible. Gosh, I'm trying to think of all the people that have worked on this film, because there's been a lot. I want to, I guess, give a shout out to B. Lydia, Terry and Scott Ingram. So they have invested a lot of their finances into the film and have made a significant push for us to get through post-production. So I definitely need to mention them. I would also mention John Parvin. He is a gentleman that actually is a good friend of the family, but he also financially has offered a lot as well to help see this film through. Also, probably should mention our music producer, Ron Nephew Feemster. He's really Lindsay's connection. So I'll let Lindsay talk a little bit about him, but he is amazing and is a genius.
Yeah,
So.
and he was on board since kind of I started working on it, and I was working with him on another film, and I started telling him about the story about Leanna and Cindy, and he was like, "Oh, sis, I'm interested. Like, you tell me when this comes out." And I was like, "Oh yeah, it's coming out soon." You know, that was like 2013, so
Yeah.
soon-ish. But he really did an amazing job bringing in the feel of, you know, of all of the, you probably don't even recognize it, but you know, there's this violin that's kind of the grandmother, and there's a guitar, I think, that tells sort of Leanna's story, and he did a really beautiful job weaving in stories, but also he was just a big believer in the film as well. And you know, it's always lovely to work with people that believe in your film. And, you know, to me, if you can work with people who would do this for free, then, I mean, he didn't, but you know, those are the people you want to work with, are the people who are like, hey, I'm behind you. I believe in what you're doing. And yeah, he did a really great job, I think.
He used a lot of my mother's music as melody to weave throughout the film.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I know my mother really appreciated that. There were a lot of times where she was listening to the scores and she would just like burst into tears crying, hearing her music. In that element. So we actually got to fly her out to Los Angeles to go to his studio to kind of see that creation. And I wanted her to be a part of that process since the music is so much of her soul. And he was very honoring to her through that as well. So
well,
yeah.
we sat down for about 3 hours, and she told, this was before we finished, I think before we finished shooting a lot of the end footage. We sat down for about 3 hours, and Cindy told Ron her story, and he just started, like, you know, playing music, of course, because he's, again, a genius, and just start scoring her story as she's talking. And I mean, it was just such a beautiful moment of artistry. But I have to say too, how much I love, you know, we were talking about the transition from Honey Child to Another Child, and both of those are actually titles to songs that were in the film. Is Honey Child still in the film?
Yeah, she sings it on the beach.
Yeah,
and
that's what I thought.
Mm-hmm.
So I loved that was part of the reason why I wanted to be part of this film, is because it also brought in music and all these different forms of artistry. And then, of course, when Bob and Sue came along, they, you know, they found out about Leanna's poetry. So it just, to me, that was such a, I think art can be so healing, and that was such a part of both of their story, was this healing through art. But they both found it in different ways, you know, one through music, one through, I mean, I guess it's all poetry, but I do love the way that everybody kind of chipped in to make the artistry part of that healing process.
Well, I hate to say this, but we're at the end of a half hour, and obviously this is an incredible film, and we could probably talk for days about how special it is, and I of course want to mention that the multi-generational aspects of it, and really that it's really hopeful. It's a really hopeful film and a positive film. So
Thank you.
Thank you for that. And thank you to all of you. I really have to go, but you did wonderful work, and it's a wonderful film, and it's great to see how passionately you all discussed it. But that's not a surprise at all. This film couldn't have come from a team that didn't truly care.
Thank you. If we have 1 minute left, I'd like to do a really quick shout out. This is just for Summer Fox. Her daughter, Madalise Fox, is a survivor, and she passed away earlier this year, and she is a very dear friend of mine, and I just wanted to just give a quick shout out for her, just to honor her. So, yeah.
Please do. And
of your daughter, so.
All right, well, thank you all. It's an honor to have your film and be involved in the Sherman Oaks Film Festival, and
Thank you.
bravo. And I certainly hope to see this. I hope you get it on whether it's PBS or HBO or wherever. I would love for this film to be seen far and wide.
We are getting some bites and some people inquiring, so hopefully we'll see.
Yeah.
I will light a candle in the back of my mind that will not go out until this film is widely distributed.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff.
All right, well, thank you all so much, and have a lovely evening. Thank you for the film.
You too.
Thank you.